Are you ready to work? Should we get something done? Let's get some work done. Hey everyone, Meredith here with Madam Diesel. Today we're going to talk about a somewhat sensitive topic in the industry, and that's hourly rates and how much things cost when it comes to fixing your diesel engine. So a really big misconception is that I am pocketing everything when I fix your engine. God, I wish that was true, because I wouldn't be working anymore if I made that much money. The reality is it costs a lot to run a business, and I know a lot of you boaters out there are self-employed as well, so you totally get this. In fact, most of my customers rarely argue my rate, my hourly rate, but some people would like to understand, where is the money going? And when I got into this industry, it was quite the wake-up call even for me, coming from working as an employed mechanic at different mechanic shops to suddenly having to deal with everything on my own. No assistance, there's no employees here, there's nothing, and realizing just how expensive it truly was to do this. If you're wondering about expenses, this is my biggest expense, the shop that I rent. And it's 1,800 square feet, and this is the third shop that I've been in, and it works great. However, it's not cheap. Tools are the next thing. Tools are, it's taken me 22 years to accumulate the tools that I have. I obviously didn't start out with, huge toolboxes and fancy tools. But over the years, as I've been able to afford them, I've been accumulating what I need to get the job done. Tools are obviously the big money maker here. Without good tools, I am almost completely useless. Yes, I'm able to do consulting. However, when it comes down to the repair, you gotta have good tools. And if you don't have that, you're gonna struggle. It's kind of scary to think that the tools in this cabinet alone are worth more than my entire pickup truck. Now, as business progressed, I finally got the courage to start buying some heavy equipment, things like the forklift, big air compressors, my lathe and mill, bandsaws, drill presses, things like that. Things that allow me to do unique repairs that maybe the average shop can't do. I've been able to do in here. I've been really frustrated over the years by shops doing subpar work. And so the more I can do in-house in terms of repairing an engine, the better. Of course, with all these extra toys, they all require maintenance and upkeep, and that adds to the expense of running the business. Of course, all the underlying things like insurance, marina costs, things like that. Education is a big one. I went to college for this stuff. I actually taught advanced diesel at a college, so I can fix an engine properly, and I will stand behind my work. That's part of what you're paying for. My hourly rate is not the cheapest, and there have been plenty of people who try to undercut me. And one misconception is that somebody with a cheaper rate will save you money, and that is proven not to be true. Many times over, I end up being cheaper than, some entry-level guy off the street trying to fix it for half price. You will get what you pay for in this industry and in a lot of trades. I also find myself coming in to clean up their mess after the fact, and people learn their lesson the hard way, unfortunately. Now, 2026 has been quite an interesting year in terms of the expense of everything. And this is something where I personally have felt it, my business has felt it. It's just me, I'm self-employed, it's me and Oakham here at the shop, there's nobody working for me. However, this alone is very expensive to keep going. And so I've had to be really careful and actually look for ways to save money, whether that's not buying a piece of equipment, like not moving into a bigger shop, which we'd all love to have, things like that, where I've got to pay attention to, money coming in, money going out in order to keep functioning, because I don't want to go out of business because I'm foolish with my money. One of my goals with this business was paying cash for everything. and I've managed to do that. I also have paid off my school loans, and so the business is 100% debt-free, and short of paying for my car, I'm almost debt-free. So, one of the biggest questions is, what do you get for your money when you hire somebody like me to come in and make a repair or rebuild your engine? Is it just the fact that your engine's going to be running at the end of it all, or do you get extras? And why is that price so high? Now, hourly rates can be somewhat tricky as all of our different business expenses vary so wildly. A boatyard obviously is going to have much different overhead than I do. They may have more employees, so they can work for a lower hourly rate, but their overhead expenses are much higher than mine. I'm working by myself, meaning I'm the only one bringing in money, and I've got to support a fairly similar overhead to a larger business. So our hourly rates vary. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be paying more in the end. A more experienced mechanic typically is going to have a higher hourly rate, but they're going to work faster and get the job done correctly the first time, so you're not going to have to pay double to have it fixed. When researching a mechanic to hire to help fix your boat, don't be afraid to ask for second opinions, ask for qualifications, ask for proof of insurance. All those important things are included in what you're paying for when you hire somebody like me to fix your engine. And if there's any argument about showing that to you as a customer, walk away. As always, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope things weren't too stressful talking about hourly rate and what it costs to hire a mechanic. And happy boating to you all. I will plan on seeing you guys in the next video.